Yep. I just forgot to set my other laptop up totally. So, in the midst of saying, "What's up, everybody?" You are tuned into another episode of Access Granted, the Pod Stream. Your boy, Mr. Antoine, is in the building, and my sister, is here.
Y'all better watch out.
And she got the maracas.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. How's it going?
Oh, it's going very well. I had a very good weekend. Very, very good. I got time with my husband.
That's all that matters.
It's
That's
nothing
all that
like
matters.
having time with your spouse. It allows you to understand why it's cold outside. Why?
Woo!
Wait a minute. I'm just saying.
I ain't mad at you.
It was a good weekend. And then I got in a Zumba class on Saturday. So
do tell. Talk about the Zumba class.
Yeah, Zumba. I love Zumba. I mean, it's like the combination of, hitting the dance floor and every song is your song and you have a mirror. So you in front of that mirror, everyone. I mean, I know people understand what I'm saying. There's other people out there that is just like me when you get or you get to go out, and do your thing and dance. To me, that's what Zumba is. I also my bones, my muscles, and everything else realized it had an awakening and said, "Guess what? You haven't been doing this."
It's always that day after effect, right?
Exactly. Yeah. However, I am back because I'm about to go back, y'all. I'm going back to work. So I'm excited about my new venture out.
Oh, that's right.
Told ya. So I'll be starting.
I don't have maracas, so I'm going to shake my mice.
So I'm excited. It's an opportunity it's a good opportunity, y'all. So and it's going to still allow me to do these things that I enjoy doing. And that's
because tell them you got to be home by 6:45 on Mondays. So
look, it's going to end up being 6:50. However, it's exciting. So I am starting now to get back into my routine. It's nothing like I know when I was working before, I had a morning routine. I had routines. That's what I'm all about. And so I figured, you know what? Let me start my routines now, 3 weeks ahead of time, getting back into exercising, doing those things that, I would normally do to take care of me, spending that time and making sure that I kind of, I'm spending time with my husband.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's just that simple sometimes. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like it's just
for
that
real.
simple.
Yeah.
Shout out, as y'all can see, my sister / my friend / my business partner / my mixologist / the lady behind the Access Granted Iced Tea. Denise Smith is in the building.
You didn't call her by the right name.
I was just about to say I called her by a government name. I'm about to get as you can see by the logo in the upper right hand corner is in the building.
Every week, Antoine.
And if she didn't make a shout out to my man Exo, the excellent organizer in the building as well, bro.
Let's go.
That piece that you did of J Royale is freaking amazing. And if you ever decide that you want to immortalize me, I'm down for the cause, bro. If it can be half of what you did with that piece, I'm down for it. Shout out to my man. But Yeah. I knew that if there was one show this season that Tipsy Fiend was going to tune into, it would be tonight. Because we got her mama
I was
all
gonna
up
say,
in the
and why is
building.
that? Yeah.
Mama all up in the building. And I'm sincerely excited to talk to this. Look, now I'm gonna wait till she get up here. I'm gonna wait till we bring her on before I give her
Okay.
flowers. Because I want her to look me in my eyes, even though I know she can see me in the background. But but before we get into that, I have to take a moment, and y'all know I hate starting the show on a somber moment, but it would be total blasphemy of me to not say rest in peace to Miss Beatrice Cornish.
Mm, I heard.
Yeah, it would
I
be
heard.
my man Maurice Dorsey. What's up, bro? It would be absolute like I would the show wouldn't work if I didn't start off first and foremost by showing some love to her and her family.
Mhm.
She passed
Yes.
away apparently over the weekend. Member of St. Stephen's African Methodist Episcopal Church, which is where I got my church start 20 some odd years ago, way back
Yes, she's
when.
a huge pillar.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Huge pillar.
that's an
Yeah.
understatement. Like
Mhm.
she needs to be buried in the cemetery behind the church. My personal opinion, but
Mm.
the family isn't doing that. But definitely want to send my shouts out to her son Jerome, and all of I mean gosh, if we sat up here and tried to name family members, it would take up the whole
Oh, it
2 hour show,
would.
so we're not
No,
going to
to
try to name.
everyone. To
Yeah, we're not
everyone.
going to name the
Yeah.
family, but just shout out to all of the St. Stephen's family.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
she's been sick for a while, and
Yes, I heard.
even when you know it's coming, you know what I
It's
mean,
still hard.
even when you know that like the ones where okay, they left for work this morning and they were in a car accident and stuff like that, or whatever.
Yes.
Those are hard, but even when and we've known that this time was coming for a long time because Miss B has been battling sickness for quite a long time now, and
Mhm.
I'm quite sure it hits just as bad as if we didn't know and she just all of a
Right.
sudden. So I definitely wanted to extend my condolences to her family,
Yes, same
especially
here.
my boy Jerome. I know you're
Yes.
going through it, bro. I did have an opportunity to talk to Sharkel today, and she said that he's as we would expect him to be when you lose your mother. So the funeral is next Saturday at St. Stephen's. I believe it's the
Okay.
25th. Let me look at the calendar just to make sure. Yes, the funeral is next Saturday, the 25th at St. Stephen's. We're gonna be singing. We're gonna be celebrating.
Yeah.
Yes, they have asked for like the old I don't know what they called it, celebration choir, funeral, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be. Um, and
Like they
Sharkel
do
was
with
like,
Reverend Candace.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. And Sharkel hit me up today and asked me would I be a part, and I was like, "Come on,
Well,
what,
she did the right thing. She did
what?"
the right
Yeah,
thing.
she did, but
You better
what?
stop going what? Your
That's Miss.
answer just should have been
No,
absolutely.
it was. No, it was. That was, but like, why are you
Right.
asking me? You already know.
Because she has
No,
to.
I
She
get it. I get
understands
it. I
people
get
have
it.
busy lives.
I get it. But man, we gonna send Miss B home, right?
I
That's
know
all I'm
that's
gonna say.
right.
Shout out, man. She was such a great spirit.
She was tough. She was
I
tough.
she I
She
remember
was tough.
she told me, and I told my wife this story all the time. She told me, and this had to be about 10, 15 years ago. She was like, Antoine, if I knew you back in the day, I was like, Miss B, if you don't back up off what you trying I forgot what we were joking about that day, but like I don't even think the word pillar does justice for what she and her family mean to St. Stephen's. You know, that church has been around for close to 150 years, and I dare say that it's probably been a member of that family, at least one, as a member of that church since its inception. So yeah, definitely, uh, you know, yeah, Miss
It's
B was,
huge.
man, she was, whoo boy.
Mhm.
Don't mess with Pastor Gray when Miss B around.
Oh,
She-
yeah, she was that's what I said, she was tough.
yeah,
I've known her ever since I was little. Because believe it or not, my mother went there before, like, I think I was, like, 5, and we were going to St.
Really?
Stephen's.
Okay.
Yes.
No, didn't know that.
And
Didn't
and
know that.
then and then when my uncle started his church, my mother went to his church. So we were going across town for
Okay.
years.
Nah, that's too far.
For
That's too,
years, and it
that's
wasn't
too.
until my dad got sick and my mother
Okay.
came
Got you.
back
Got you.
because it
St.
was
Stephen's.
close to home,
Got you.
and they had, my father wanted to worship, and
Got you.
so it just worked out. But even after all that time, as soon as I walked in the door, she knew who
She
I
knew you were.
was. She
Right.
said, "You have not changed since you was a little girl." So that says a lot.
And you know what? And I'm not going to dwell on this too long because I definitely want to get into the show. But I think that that's the thing that I will always love about St. Stephen's because, we've all, over the past couple of years, and definitely shout out to my Victorious Living Faith family, we all, have moved on from St. Stephen's for
Mhm.
various reasons, over the
Right.
past couple of years, especially once the pandemic kind of shut things down. But, at the end of the day, I think all of us that were like long-term core members there, I don't care where we go, St. Stephen's is always going to be home. It's
Home.
always going to
Mhm.
be family. I
Yeah.
still keep in touch with 90% of the people at St.
Right.
Stephen's.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately now I'm only there for stuff like this. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I haven't been there to fellowship in a couple of years. So unfortunately, I'm only there for stuff like this. But every single time that you go back, hey, Mama Tina, love you. Thank you for tuning
Ah, yes,
in,
Miss
Mama Tina,
Tina.
the goat. She's the goat. But every time we have the opportunity to go back to St.
Yeah.
Stephen's, it's always, it's always love. It's always family.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, it's always love and family. I was about to say something,
And
but
it
I
will
don't know.
always be that way,
Yeah,
no matter
absolutely.
who is
Abs-
there. It will
Absolutely.
always, you don't feel the only thing, the edifice itself physically might be different, but the love, the genuineness of the care and the love that you receive when you come back. Because I know Ethel like squeezed me, when I come back. So it's all there.
Yeah,
So I completely understand.
yeah.
Yep.
Ethel,
St.
let me
Stephen's
tell
will
you
always
something.
be home. Yep.
Let me tell you something. I don't talk to Ethel like I used to, but Ethel Pullum is
Yeah.
literally the reason that I do what I do in church.
Mhm.
Every
Mhm.
single time that I grab a microphone and I step up in that stand, or if I stand in front of a choir or praise team, whatever the case may be, it's all because of Ethel.
Mhm.
And there's never anything that you can tell me that's going to change that. Like she
Yeah.
literally, she believed in me when I didn't think I had anything.
Mhm.
You want me to direct what? You want me to sing what?
Oh, you can do it.
Bumped your head.
You can
And
do it. She
Ethel
don't
was
take no
kind of
for an answer, does
so.
she?
Look at VLF. We have this phrase called "we're being voluntold,"
Yes.
which when Reverend Jackie asks you to do something, she's asking you, but she's really telling you.
Right.
Um, when it came to choir stuff, Ethel would volunteer you. You know, she
Mhm.
would definitely volunteer you. Shout out to Portland Shakespeare in the building. Shout
Hey,
out to
Tina
my
coming.
man Brian Lyrics, Beat Boys
Yes.
Music in the hell. Oh, we got bro. All right, that's enough of that stuff. Cause I see who pulling up, and I know why they pulling up, and
They coming to
so
see darling.
they coming to see. They
Darling
coming to
Dena. Yes.
Hey.
We're gonna go ahead. Red carpet.
red t-shirt.
There you go.
Red, yeah,
Red
red
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
There you go. There you go.
Darling Dena is in the building. Finally, The Rock has come to access granted the pod stream. That's how I feel right now. Look, so I started to say this before we brought you up, but and I think I've thanked you on numerous occasions, but I want to thank you publicly for just believing in me enough to not only bring me in as a guest on your pod stream, on your radio show. I remember the time when you wanted to do like the unified radio host. So it was me and
Yeah.
you, Digga, and you invited all these people. And after that, you allowed me the opportunity to come and sit in as a host with my sister Sabrina, simply Sabrina, on the Must Be the Music radio show. And there's nobody else except you and Sabrina that I would get up for on a Saturday morning and drive all the way to Glen Burnie for an hour. For an hour. But that opportunity, Dena, meant the world to me, and I just want to thank you in front of the world right now and say
Nice.
thank you because when you get into this field, you have to kind of pick and choose and take your opportunities when they're available. But when you come up on somebody else's show and you representing their brand and you representing everything that they do, you got to make sure everything is done in decency and order. And I just hope that for the few times that I was at, well, shoot, it was more than a few times because at one point it was every Saturday. But I hope that I did justice to that platform, and I just want to sincerely thank you for that opportunity because as much as I was tired by the time I got there, I had an absolutely amazing time each and every Saturday. Really, I did, truly.
Oh, well, you actually did me a favor, and
Mhm.
and I told her if she was going to do it, you was the only other person I would rather have on there.
Oh,
So,
wow. That says a lot, Antoine.
so
Yeesh.
you had to be the one.
There you go.
So she was ready, I was ready, and we knew you was going to be ready.
Cheers. Cheers.
No, it's the truth. We knew you was going to be ready. I was like, he ready. He's
Yeah,
going to do this. You know.
it
Every
was
time I called you, you came through.
yeah,
Nice.
Sabrina and I, we were like we were like a great tag team, for the show. And it felt good to be like the co-anchor, let her lead the way and just kind of
Mhm.
follow. And the only thing that I didn't like was that the show ended too soon. Like when we were really
Yeah.
ramping up and started to have fun, it was like the producer was like, "Okay, what song we going out on?" And I'm like, "Going out, bro. We just got,
I feel like you
So,
just got there.
right. But other than that, it was fun. It was amazing. And if you ever needed me to do anything like that, I'm literally a phone call or a text away. And Dina said, and she got that access granted drunken love in her glass.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. She's also, exactly. Tipsy
That's
Fiend.
my
She's our
favorite.
number one customer. I think she sold this out by herself in a week, literally.
That is hilarious.
Not just all for her, but she, people that she rocked with was
Yeah.
I have,
supporting for the
well, I
cause.
can say my job. I have the whole Internal Revenue Service drinking SS granted. That's probably why we can't answer y'all phone calls. So,
What
hey,
a way
I
to
mean, if
start
y'all
the
can give
show.
me a little tax break because y'all had my drink, then if I can get a little break on the taxes this year. But first of all, thank you for taking
That's
some
good.
time out. I know I've
Yeah.
asked you a couple of times to be on
Yeah.
various shows, and I don't know what it was that got you here this time, but it doesn't matter. Thank you.
yeah,
I appreciate this time, and I've always wanted to just have a few minutes to just sit down with you and really just delve into the history. Like
Mm.
you, Dina, and and I literally know this much. Like if your history was this big, I know about this much. See that thumb right there? I know about that
yeah.
much. So as we go ahead and get into this, give us a little background about you because you're not originally from here, correct?
No, I'm originally from Baltimore.
You're from Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Didn't
originally
know
from
that. I thought
Baltimore.
you were okay.
It's just we was in Virginia a lot. That's all. But I'm originally a
Mm.
Baltimorean.
Okay.
But we have to go back to 77.
Let's go. Let's
That
go.
that's where it all started,
Let's
you know,
let's let's go.
hanging out with Rodeo and Cowboy. Y'all know who Rodeo and Cowboy is, right?
For those of us that don't,
Well, Rodeo and Cowboy is the producers of Count Kula.
Mm.
You know the song I am Count Kula because that's Rodeo and Cowboy's baby. Um, Started off with them, and they did all this here in Baltimore, but New York got all the props for it. But it started here. Well, I won't say rap completely started here because rap been going on for ages. But when it started getting real popular, Baltimore had it, and we lost it because we had that one thing that everybody keep talking about, that support. We didn't have it. We was selectively supporting other places and still about
Still
hometown.
doing it.
We had so many people start here. As people doesn't know it, but Biz Markie started here before he was in New York. You know,
Really?
so
I
we
knew
did
that.
a lot of
I knew that. I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
we did a lot of things with those people and
Yeah.
getting things together. And people just, I think because a lot of us didn't know the business and some people did know the business, is where it got taken from us.
Okay.
It got stolen. Like we were, like I would say every day, like they making millions of dollars now. We making $5 a show,
Oh wow.
$5, and we got on that stage and act like it was ours. Rant it, run it. We had fans, people chasing us, but we were only making $5 a show. You'd have thought we was really making something. And I always look back and say, how is it that we didn't get to make that money that everybody's making now?
Right.
Like, why we didn't get the millions of dollars? You know, we
Right.
started it off and we did things, and we, well, I'm gonna speak for the fabulous females because that's where I come from. I'm a fabulous female.
Hey.
And
Hey.
when we started off, we had a ghostwriter. I'm not gonna lie. It was well, he was in Lords of Baltimore, which was my brother, um, Johnny B. And he was writing for us. And he was like, I want y'all to do this, I want y'all to do that. But kind of like the same way Salt and Pepper felt, we felt like he knows some, but he doesn't know women. So we wanted to do our own.
Right.
And when we started doing our own, that's when people started pushing. And we didn't want him to think we was pushing him out, but it was hard. Like, just to have a brother that was doing everything for you, because he started us off and we praise him every time we can. But the thing is that we were rapping, but he wasn't getting us the shows. That was Rodeo Cowboy.
Okay.
They had us out there. We really thought that things was going to change when we did the arena. But come to find out, they only wanted one of us. And
What?
Really?
yeah,
Can you imagine a Salt and Pepper show with just pepper? Like,
yeah,
Right.
that's crazy. I in the group was not the popular one, but I was the one they wanted. I mean, Icy Irene and Luscious Lakeisha, Popular Pam came afterwards, but
that's just
they,
like Keisha.
yeah, it was all our names, darling.
I love the names back then.
Yeah. So along with the guy, everybody knows Chili Chill, right? Along with the guy Chili Chill, we all was together, and when the meeting came about, they didn't want them. And I couldn't see myself going without them. So what I thought I was going to do was get put on, go, and then bring them in.
Okay.
But just like what's going on in Hollywood now,
Yeah.
that was happening back then too.
Yeah.
And sorry, darling Dena was not selling her soul or her body for to be famous. And
All right.
that was
No, I was just gonna say I see all of the questions coming in, and I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit, because I want you to answer all of these, but then I have a question that I want to go to too. So shout out to Walbrook Warriors in the house. My girl Kim, she says, "What part of Virginia are you from, or were you going to back then?"
Richmond.
Back to Richmond. And shout out to my man Chubb James Chandler. He's also in the building. Walbrook Warriors. My man Maurice says that like Baltimore was a hub back then, and like this is his era. He says all of these names that you're naming, he's familiar with. And then
Yeah.
I don't know, one of these beat boy music guys wants you to drop some bars.
Let me tell you.
We can hold that for acapella and
Yeah, we
acoustic
can hold
segment
it
if
to
you
a little
want
bit
to.
because it's a sore spot for me. It really
Uh,
is. But I guess I'll try to do something. But it really is a sore
oh,
spot for me. Really.
okay. We don't want to touch any sore spots. So
Right. Not tonight.
not
Oh,
tonight.
I mean, I understand that. I understand that. It's just uh, because of where I came from with the music and how
Hmm.
everybody coming in now is different. And what I'm trying to do now is bring Baltimore back to where it's at,
Right.
you know, and
So,
put that out there.
so let me ask you this, Dena, because I'm trying to get a point of reference of when all of this was going on. So it sounds like this is. I know, Tipsy Fiend. I'm gonna get to that question. I promise you. I promise you. Um,
She
I'm
better
trying
not
to get
ask
a.
about Jam Master Jay. I know that's what she asked.
No, no, it's not about
Oh,
Jam
okay.
Master Jay. It's not about Jam Master Jay.
Then
I'm
I'll
trying to.
ask.
I'm trying to get a.
He's
I'm
not
trying to get a.
your daddy.
Okay. I won't ask.
Okay. 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 Hold up. Okay. That is not where I thought that was going. But anyway, so I'm trying to get a point of reference. And I get the feeling that this is before my time because I didn't become familiar with the hip hop scene in Baltimore until the We Rock crew.
Oh wow.
Shout out to my man Terry T.
Sorry, T. Yep,
He's one of
G.
my favorite people. So this sounds like this was pre We Rock crew when you guys were
Yeah.
doing your thing.
Yeah, we was out just before them.
Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking about like the different venues at the time that we had in Baltimore. Like where were you guys doing your shows and stuff? Were you guys like at the skating rinks? Were
No,
you at the
we actually declined to do shakes. Like they had like shake and bake and things like that, or shake and
nobody
skate.
comes to Chicken Bake. No.
And we declined to do stuff in those places. And the reason why is because it always seemed like when we went out, even though we love the kids, but it was like kids. We wanted the older audience to hear us.
Gotcha.
So we didn't want to do those type of places. Now, like the We Rock crew and stuff, they did high schools. We did Odell's and Pascal's and Giovanni's. That's the type of places we wanted to go.
Oh,
Wow.
So we
Wow.
didn't, we wanted to set the bar high for ourselves.
right.
So we weren't going to take nothing less than that. And had we known, promoters they were getting a lot of money, like I said, and we when we finally moved up to $20, oh, we thought we was something.
Mm.
Right. When there
I
was
mean,
more money
$20
out
could go
there,
a long way back
I
then.
mean, your way.
But
$20 could go a
still, come
long way
on,
back then.
$20
Right.
when they were actually giving them 5,000 for us,
Right.
and
Uh-huh.
all we got was 20. That was too much. Yeah. So we did a lot of those type places, and and uh, the Reebok crew mainly ran with the high schools. I mean, the high schools loved them. That
Mm,
was their thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because like at that given time, um, really New York was really the only thing running hip hop. Like honestly, if we like,
No, that's what everybody thought.
that's what
No.
everybody thought. Right,
Right.
right. That's what everybody thought.
Right.
So my question is, what would it have taken? Like, did you guys have, or were you guys looking for possible deals at that time? Like, what was it that you guys needed to do to take you out of Baltimore and get you to that next step
Yeah,
where you
we
started being
actually were
recognized?
making deals, and that's what I was talking about earlier. And that's what I
Hmm.
came in. Russell Simmons, he like I said, he didn't want the rest of the group. He wanted me. I don't know
Oh,
why
this
he
was
wanted.
Russ. Okay.
Um, because I don't know. I was the one who didn't wear the makeup, didn't do all that. I wore the bush and I don't know, maybe because I was different or whatever. I wore clothes, so I guess that's why he I guess that's why he might have wanted me. But Russell Simmons has an image. Everybody knows it.
Yes.
You know? So
Yes.
mm-mm.
How did this connection with Russell Simmons come about?
Well, that was the group Tony. Before they was
Mm.
Tony, they was Triple T.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
they used to do shows on the boat, the port the port welcome and stuff like that. And it was Chuck Max and I forgot the other DJ name. Can't remember his name right now. Henry Sampson.
You,
Henry
you,
Sampson and Chuck Max.
you like them red bones. He said somebody said Russell Simmons liked those red bones back then. I'm not gonna say who said it, but she might be downstairs from you right now. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm not talking to her. But so they put everything together, and we did we did a show, and they put us against the Lords of Bremore, who was my brothers, and they actually won. And I made such a fuss about it because they did the song Sniss, the Russia, only mad because her boyfriend left her. And everybody went crazy over it. And I made a fuss, and I was like, hold up. We's just as hard as them. We's just as bad as them. I don't understand why we didn't win. I mean, we was proud of my brother, but I wanted that spot.
Right.
And he said, you know what? We're gonna give you an opportunity because of you. Your mouth too big. You talk too much. You don't hold nothing back. And that was how it worked out. And the next thing I know, we were on the port welcome. We was performing. Russell Simmons was there, and that's how it came about. He pulled me to the back, and he asked me about it, and I'm running to tell them, oh, we work with Russell Simmons. Do you know who worked with Russell Simmons? We was like ready. But when I came back out, I was like, they want me. And personally, I don't even think I had the biggest mouth, but I wasn't the hardest rapper. I truly will give that to Icy Irene. She went in, and they loved her here in Baltimore. But she was also a boxer, so I think they were also like, wait a minute, hold up. Darling D got big mouth, but she shy in some ways. Icy Irene ain't gonna take no stuff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they weren't gonna pick her up. And I thought that was what's gonna happen. But and then around that time, after that, a lot of things started getting shut down in Baltimore, but then we started bringing it back. We decided to work with this guy named Tony, who had Twist Productions, and we was under his brand, and we started working and doing things then, and he had us like everywhere. He were the second person to get us into, at that time, the Civic Center, because it was the Civic Center before it was the Baltimore Arena. And he got us in there, and that's when if she want to know, that's when I finally met Jam Master Jay.
Okay, stop. Before we go there. And so I hate to keep harping on the Russell Simmons part, but so my assumption is that Russell Simmons was taking various groups under his situation and bringing them here, and you guys were opening for them.
Yes, that's what we was doing. We was opening for his groups,
such as.
Well, he had Sparky D. He also had LL Cool J. Ron at that time, they were at the shows, but they were the bigger people.
Right.
And we had to prove to them that we could do something. So they weren't going to do a show unless we could do something. So, he had a D-Light, and she, oh man, she was like one of the greatest to me. and I don't think she get enough credit. But D-Light did a lot of things for and Russell Simmons thing at the time. I didn't know she was going with him, but yeah, people didn't know that. But she
So
was
is
going.
this? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got a lot of stuff I want to know. This is good stuff. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah, so
ahead.
she was going with Russell Simmons, and she helped
Okay.
us out a lot when we were on the stage and told us how to come out. Um, because it was, if a lot of people don't know it, it was a lot of no cussing laws back then,
Mm.
and
Mm.
so if we
Oh,
came out, we
okay.
couldn't cuss on the stage. We had
Wow.
to rock the crowd without that. And if the music went down, you had to keep going. You couldn't just stop and say, hold up, give us a minute. We had to keep it going, keep that flow.
Mm.
So back then, you had to know how to dance, you had to know how
Wow.
to rap. You don't have to necessarily know how to sing, but at least learn how to harmonize together with it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
we had to do a lot of things to where now they get away with a lot of stuff.
A
But
whole lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
and women, well, they put us because we was in the shows. We wore certain things, but like I don't know if people remember this brand, but we wore like BBDs and bikie shorts
Yep.
because they had to make it into like the boy type thing, dotted
Yep.
lights and things
Right.
like that. So that was the thing, and we used to carry a couple of friends around, just to have them there with us.
James.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it was just, to me, I like that. I like that part of doing everything. But like I said, I still have to say it's still certain things I didn't like about the whole rap culture or the rap world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
Right.
Mm. So go ahead, Alini.
No, I'm listening because there are a lot of things I don't know, and even though I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute, that's my era. Okay, I remember this. I
We
remember
was
that.
around back then, Alini. We was
That's
around.
what I
We was
said.
around.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But the question that I wanted to ask was, listening to you because now, now I see why the rap music that we listen to, we can still listen to it now
mhm.
because the stuff that's coming out now I don't know how they're going to be our age and want to say what they say. I'm just
They're
saying.
gonna be 50 years
So
old going.
as you're seeing the evolution of how rap music has
Yeah.
gone, okay,
Yes.
I wanted to hear from you. What are your thoughts on how you see, what is your opinion on how rap music has evolved into what it is right now? How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh boy.
Some of the greatest rappers are here in Baltimore City,
Mhm.
and a lot of them get looked over. I would,
I've been saying that since 2015.
yeah, they get looked over, and that like I'm gonna throw the baton at let's use Brian Lurks for a minute. Um, I never seen him really cuss or anything. I like the way he going because he has an old school style.
Okay.
He kind of reminds me of the so some of the guys in Soul Sonic Force,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
because of his
Mhm.
style. So
Wow.
I do like that some people, and see, Baltimore grew up with a style, and we, even though some of the other people decided, well, that mumble rap I think is garbage, and I don't listen to it.
Mhm.
I just can't. I don't know if
Mhm.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't want to hear it
Right.
because for years I was in school and I was a stutterer before I had
Mm.
someone help me. So if somebody, I'm sitting up there, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I'm like, come on now, get it together. So we had like a whole lot of people, that would do certain things. I think Easy Jackson is another person. Easy Jackson
Shout out
is,
easy. Hey Baltimore.
you know,
Hey
yes,
Baltimore.
like, and I like that because he write, produce, and everything, and so he does these things. You know, I'm gonna kick it out to my daughter because I really think Queen Fiend really,
Queen Bee!
I really think she, even though she does some little things, racy, but we had some racy stuff. Come on, push it, you know. But she do her thing. She goes out there and she gives a show. She knows how to give a show. She don't have to worry about it. The crowd, she works the crowd, and the crowd loves her.
Right. Right.
So I like that about her. I mean, I still say she a little Kim, but I like what she does. You know,
I
Yeah,
love it.
and it's interesting because we're hearing so many artists that are coming onto the show and and are saying the same thing, that there's so much talent in Baltimore, but yet the support is not there. We talk about it all the time, even in other aspects of entertainment. Um, trying to figure out why isn't it? What is going on? Why is it that New York, an artist could go to California, New York, somewhere else and get that recognition, but you want to keep it and stay in Baltimore, but
some
you're
more.
not getting the support.
And it's called selling your soul.
Gotcha.
That's what it's called. It's called
Gotcha.
selling out.
Uh-oh. It's about to get real, y'all.
That's
Gotcha.
what it's called. It's called selling out. When you leave Baltimore and decide, okay, I'm not going to make it here. I understand. You can go somewhere and do something, but you
Mhm.
bring that back. You don't have
Mm,
to completely disinvade Baltimore altogether. Because we
gotcha.
got a lot of people out there right now that left Baltimore, got up there, and decided, y'all can say I'm from here, but I decided to claim New York.
Right. Mhm.
For years, Big Bang Hike lived here in Baltimore City.
Mm.
He wasn't born and raised here, but he
Wow.
lived here.
Sugar Hill gang.
Right.
And when everything took off and they used some of Mr. Magic's stuff, he decided not even to give Mr. Magic credit
Mm.
for his music. I'm like, how you doing something Mr. Magic wrote 4 years ago, and it's hype now because you're doing it because you're in New York.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing.
Mm.
So it's kind of hard to see a lot of that stuff go in. I remember sitting there and they were doing Let Me Clear My Throat,
Yeah.
and they were doing that, and he asked everybody to send a little piece of music. And I remember the first thing my brother did was the and he said that they used it. He never got credit for it.
Wow.
At the beginning of the song.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Never got
Mm.
credit for it.
Wow.
And so we decided here in Baltimore, we're not going to send our stuff out. And that's what I try to tell some of these people now. Don't send your music because they use your stuff. And unless you got it online already, everybody see you performing it before they start doing it.
Right.
Mm.
And it's
Wow.
sad because it's not just rappers who use your stuff. It's also artists, singers, and things like
Mhm.
that. Everybody thought Lloyd was lying when he said Janet Jackson used his Velvet Rope. That really was that boy's song. It actually was a poem. She turned it
Wow.
into a song. She really was supposed to pay him something, and she didn't. And because she was Janet Jackson,
She,
everybody
yeah.
just figured, oh well, I don't believe him.
Wow.
And because he
So,
didn't have it, the best way to do something is when you writing something, make a poor man's copy of it, send it to yourself
mhm.
in the mail,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
you'll have your own copy, and everybody can see. She changed some of the words, but it was a poem he wrote.
Wow.
So, so
And
a lot
we're talking, and you're talking about Lloyd that was signed to Murder Inc.
oh no 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 no
Oh,
no
okay.
no
Okay.
no no
Okay.
no. This guy name is Lloyd Frederick. Look him up.
Okay. Okay.
He actually did write the Velvet Rope song. It was a
Wow.
poem he was writing, and he was writing it for her. He wanted to make it a personal poem to her. He was such a fan, he wanted her to have it. But
Right.
for her not to acknowledge him when she did it, I was like, There's another thing with Baltimore going down the drain, and nobody understand that Baltimore gets shut down all the time. We do a lot of stuff, we do a lot of things, and it was to the point now that I would see some of these shows go on, and I see some of these people using the Baltimore people like the other people was using them.
Uh,
And
so my man Natty is saying that the poor man's copyright does not work and that he would not recommend that.
when you go into the court of law, you can use that because it has a date.
Okay.
So you can use it. And I mean, we won't take it, make it a big thing, but I'm just saying that's a start.
Mhm.
So in the law, it has a date. Oh Lord.
Like that's not going to make your whole
So
case, but it's not
yeah,
going to make
but
your
it
whole
will
case,
show
but it's a
that she
footprint.
did this before she brought it out.
Right.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
with music, you can copyright music. I mean, so you can copyright it, correct?
hmm Yeah, you can copyright music, but you still have to at least deal with the person who wrote the music. Help them.
Mhm.
You can't just. It's to the point they were just taking music.
Yeah.
We
Mm,
weren't getting credit.
right.
You know,
Right.
it's
Gotcha.
And it's
it's
three
this one group.
copyrights
I
involved now.
really hate to say their name, but Kevin Lyles.
Oh,
Yeah. Um,
oh,
what he
Uh,
did, you know, I was like, as much as you is Baltimore, I don't understand how you can do stuff to a Baltimorean. You know, the Love Her song.
oh, oh my
You took the song from the girl and then you gave it to a group and then you got famous for the song and she never got a dime of it.
oh wow.
What song are we talking about?
Love Her. That's the name of the song. Name of the group is named after the song.
Oh,
Yes. So
The
wow.
sound.
he got famous for it. Never gave the girl a dime.
Wow.
Whew. But he got a street named after him though in a football field. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah. A whole
I
lot.
wanna scroll back up uh because my man Natty made a great point up here. Okay, man, here it is right here. When we were talking about like what was happening, the business isn't right and radio does not support. And I really want to like I really, really, really want to harp on that point.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
understand how we have had for as long as I can remember urban stations here in the city
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that do not support our own artists. So when it got to the point where and I'm gonna let you go, but when it got to the point where I had my own radio shows and then on to own online radio stations, um, if I didn't do anything else, I made it a point to make sure that we celebrated and played and supported our Baltimore artists on those platforms. Whether it was, just Baltimore Flavor Radio, the show, whether it was Worldwide Flavor Network, whether it was Power 4.4.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, probably 75% of the music that we played was all Baltimore. How, like, talk about a little bit about your experiences with, or if any, with just dealing with Baltimore radio, because
Well, let,
yeah, I hate that about our radio here. I
well,
hate
let
it.
me say this because let me tell you that wasn't always the case. Because when we had people like Chuck Max, Henry Sampson, and Keith Chop Chop Fisher, they were playing Baltimore music.
Okay.
They used to play it all the time. They even had the Baltimore artists come on the show. But when those people were taken off of the show or passed away, and when y'all famous high yellow light skinned girl came in and bought the radio stations, she wasn't even really playing anything. She wasn't even supporting Baltimore. But we'll listen to her station every day, 92Q,
Mhm.
and you know,
Because she was looking at ratings. She was just focused on rate. What's going to bring in her numbers?
Then that's what it was. So she
Yeah.
kicked us off the chart.
Right.
She stopped it. She did. She said, if she don't see, if we don't have listeners, what? How would she know if we didn't have listeners? Of
Right.
course, we had listeners. It was on the radio.
Right.
You know, but that was her excuse. She said we didn't have listeners, so she started pulling it. Everybody
Right.
music got pushed to the back. If you ever go to a radio station or you talk to some of these DJs, they will tell you they have tons of music from artists from Baltimore, but they can't play it
Right.
because they now has a set playlist of what they can and cannot play.
Right.
So if your name is not Beyonce or Jay-Z or any of those people, they're not going to listen. They don't. And the sad part about it is, I thought the DJs that's on now should have at least forced her hand at that and said, look, I think we need to play this. Because if you ever listen to Ricky Smiley, he plays Detroit music all the time. I was too done that she let that go through. But whenever her Baltimore DJs try to put something on, she cuts it. She doesn't want to. Yeah. She doesn't want us on. And the thing is that we're not part of the group. I won't say Illuminati because I'm just not going to say that, but we're not part of the whole crew of things. Baltimore is on a different branch. Baltimore needs to redo everything. So like when I had Must Be the Music, my whole station was dedicated to Baltimore artists, poets, and singers.
Right. And I think that's important. That's the key, because once somebody gets in control and money's involved, they're not going to see, okay, even if we have, okay, no, right now let's do a Baltimore segment for, a certain amount of time. Get those artists in, because you don't know, Baltimoreans are listening to the station. So they want to hear their
The
people.
sad part about it is she made her career from Baltimore. Baltimore built her up. She was sleeping in a radio station. She didn't have a home. Her and her son.
That's right.
She was sleeping in the radio station. We brought her up. We made her the money. And then she cut us out.
Hold up. Who are we talking about again?
The
Miss Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. K Hughes. So someone already said the name, but see, I don't want to get us demonetized.
Hey.
Yeah. She was sleeping in the radio station. Her and her son.
Yeah.
We brought her up.
Right.
James Brown actually had, EBB. He had a little, at certain times, his part of his station comes on, then it goes off. They was actually playing Baltimore music. Then we got shut down.
Right.
They let us, they just kicked us off. And it's something about, as we say it, with Hollywood, it's the curse to Baltimore City. They don't want Baltimore people to see unless they deal with them on their side.
Right.
We shouldn't have to do that. So what I've been doing was keep trying to make sure we built up our artists and keep pushing our artists and supporting our artists. I don't do a selective support. I support everyone.
Gotcha.
Even if your music is not that great, I will ask you, do you need some help? Because we're going to get you out there.
Right.
Especially if this really your dream.
Right.
Shooting on duty. But anyway, we try some. I gotta mess with them. We try to make everybody out there. We just go out and support. It doesn't matter what they're doing, but get out there and show them that if you got nobody else in your corner, you got Baltimore. I once heard Decoy say that he wasn't getting the love here, and I'm like, are you serious? But when he went to New York, I was like, because you know why? You played into that role with them in New York, and you didn't do that here in Baltimore.
What do you mean by that?
That's what I was going to ask.
What do you mean by that?
In Baltimore, he gave, he did his songs. He put on a little show. He waved his hand. Sugar Bear, his song. I love that little song though. But he gave us a little bit. He got out
Right.
in New York and showed off.
Mm.
He didn't give us what he was giving them.
Was it the do you think it's the energy that the audience gives?
Not necessarily. Because if you're an artist, you supposed no matter what they give, you're always supposed to give your best.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You're supposed to go out there and kill it. If it's 4 people out there, you're supposed to kill it.
Right. Right.
Not worry about
So
who's out there. Show
so
me that you're gonna make those 4 people seem like they're 400.
right.
Mm.
So then here's my question. So we have, several mainstream artists that come to Baltimore and perform at places like Soundstage and Ramshead.
Mhm.
And all of these artists, when they come here, they have 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10 Baltimore artists opening for them. So we have like literally, and I'm talking like
And we
major
gotta
artists, like
thank
I'm
Morgan
talking like,
State for that.
say that again.
We gotta
Morgan.
thank Morgan State for that. Because
Okay.
Morgan State is the ones who put on the program to make sure a Baltimore artist is out there coming out live for the other artists.
Mm,
Wow. Didn't know that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But my point that I was getting at is that we have these like if I'm a hip hop artist and I'm performing for K and I'm opening for KRS-One, I'm harassing the heck out of KRS-One until he takes the stage. Like I need some kind of knowledge, I need some kind of how to, I need some kind of like how do we continuously have all of these artists that we're literally 20 feet to 100 feet away from during these shows, and we don't make these we don't make these kind of connections. Like I'm gonna give you a prime example. Like yo, shout out to Dirt Platoon, Ill Conscience, J Royale, that whole squad, Guy Grams. I call them Baltimore's Wu-Tang. These guys have traveled around the world and have made connections, opening up for all of these different kind of artists. So when we have those opportunities, how do we not, or how can we take advantage of those opportunities when we have those people right here in our backyard?
You know what we do? You know what happens with that? I was a victim of it myself. We were performing for all these big artists and we did all this stuff, but after the shows was over, we did not put ourselves on the map. We did not give ourselves enough credit to put ourselves out there. We died down.
Yeah,
That's the
Mm.
problem. We
yeah,
hype when it's getting time for the show, but then we dies down. We need to keep that hype. We need to make sure it was to a point where we had to make sure Fabulous Females was coming out of everybody's mouth.
Right, right.
It was like to the point where we couldn't even walk certain blocks. We still back then. If sometimes if you got into a little Maxima Mercedes, you waving, hey, but we walked. We had no problem. We we stopped walking because we wound up having people who were chasing us, fans. Just going down the harbor. That's fast females running, but they knew us, and somehow we lost sight of that. We think, okay, we do shows on. You still, you gotta put yourself out there. You can't just keep saying, "Oh, I did this for this person. I did this for Big Daddy
yeah,
King,"
Mhm.
yeah,
and
and
then everybody, and then you turn around and nobody see you do anything else again. Use
right,
that. You did something with Big Daddy King. Use it. He put
yeah,
it out
and
there. Put it on flyers. We did. We had everything on flyers to the point where I think East and West, but mainly the whole East Side knew who we
Mhm.
were. Wherever we went, uh, it was just that. I remember we did a show down. It was, they always had the YMCA and then they have the YWCA, and we did a show down there. And I remember I remember Baltimore's own the Newmarks, those people,
Oh my
Mm.
gosh, yes. Lord
Goodness.
have mercy.
they went on before us and they were mad because at the time they were the stuff. But we were known more because you know
Right.
why? We put our stuff out there. We didn't wait for somebody else to brand us. We did it. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Like I don't see a lot of artists out there anymore putting their CDs out and things like that. I mean, I know people may think people don't listen to CDs. Yes, they do. And um, because now a lot of them is on Alexa or Apple Music. You still need to put your music out. You still need to promote yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. So they get lost. You know, Sparky D and the Fly Girls, they were out there, but and they were big artists. They was already signed to Russell Simmons.
Mm.
But a lot of people didn't know them because they only came out whenever he pulled them out. Whenever he pulled them out or something, or nobody was checking for their song or looking for them. And I thought the Battle of Sparky D and the Fly Girls was one of a really great rap song, but it wasn't put out there like that. And it mostly probably because MC Light came in and wore Sparky D out. She ran off the stage. But still, she was out there. She had her music. She was gone. In fact, you know who Sparky D is, right?
I've heard of Sparky D. I know who she is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Know who she
She's
is?
right
Yeah.
to run. That's his wife.
That's his wife.
Yes, that's his wife. And
His current wife, the what's her name? Joseph. What's her name? The light skin. That's
yeah, that's his
Sparky D
wife.
from back. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that was his wife.
yeah, that's his wife. So when they all was out there, she had little stuff and she did things, but they
No,
never
I didn't know that.
promoted themselves. You can't wait for somebody else to promote you. You got to promote yourself. That's why I like
So
some of the Baltimore people. We do promote ourselves, but some of us get lost because after we did a big show with somebody, we think we already famous. Yes, we do. We think we famous. You know, and
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. That was going to be one of my questions. Do you think that some of it too, um, from the artists that they do something, that instant gratification? Do you think it kind of holds them back because they think that, oh, I did this thing one time, I don't need to do anything else. You should know me.
that's correct.
mm,
They think that you
Justine,
should
that's
know
the
them,
name.
or just because they did something with this person, it's time for them to get paid.
Right.
I'm gonna bring up this one lady because she did a lot of things, and I don't remember her getting paid. Now she's getting paid, but what I'm talking about, more little Miss Poet, poet Shakespeare. She did a lot of stuff, but nobody was giving her anything. We took her.
Yeah.
Me and Sabrina took her, Brian, and another conscious to Philly. Philly treated us so bad, but they couldn't deny us because I believe she went on first, and everybody was talking about her. Then we had the woman in Floyd Tree still talking about Port Shakespeare because of what she did, her poem. Brian got up on there. They wouldn't play his music. We had to use their band. And he said, okay, hit it. And had the band following him. This because we Baltimore. This is what we do. They tried to deny us. They tried to take it away from us. And Sabrina told them before they went in, don't let them take this away from you. It's your opportunity. Give it to them. We still being talked about till this day. The whole time. Everybody's mentioning Baltimore, how they came and ripped Philadelphia.
Mm.
because we couldn't deny, they couldn't deny us. They had no choice. And they had a lot of Philadelphia people there coming in, and Floyd Tree, they're from Philadelphia, and they were still talking about our people.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was, the only thing I was mad about is that we were there. We did that. We should have kept using that. I used to put the video up all the time, but I wanted them to bring that up. Let me tell you where I was at and what I did. And promote yourself. Keep pushing it. Let's put your music out there. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's holding Baltimore back is we get lost. Because I think we feel like, okay, this is it. I did it. And if we feel like that's the only place, that's how far we're going to go. We should have kept going.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And a lot of times, like some of the promoters, they will be out there for us and then they will leave us. And we got to learn how to pick up the pieces after the promoters leave.
Wow. I know a lot of times when some people speak about Baltimoreans, they say that, Baltimoreans are complacent. Do you think that the artists become complacent?
Some of the artists do.
Okay.
I can't say all of them, but some of them do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because they feel like, you seek me out.
Gotcha.
What can I use as an example? Let's go with Ike and Tina Turner. Remember back when the woman was singing and Ike had her singing, and as quick as he had her singing, he threw her off the stage, and Tina got up there and she started singing, and everybody else in the crowd forgot about her.
Uh-huh.
That's how it is here. We need to make sure we keep putting ourselves out there. Don't fall. We fall in the background. That's our problem.
Okay.
So we just need to keep pushing and striving and things. We had people come here, and back then when I was doing it, everybody knew our songs. They would sing along. Now you got people, oh, I like that song. I don't know all the words, but I like that,
You sound like my son.
I can probably, of course, let's see. Whose song? Let's see who I would use. And I might cry that. But Sully's music.
Rest in peace, Jay Sully.
Yes. His music, you can go all day. All day.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace, J. Dot Sully.
Sully,
Because he
yes.
got on you when you
Don't
didn't
forget
say
the
the dot. My bad. Rest in peace, J. Dot Sully. Yes.
Yes. You can go there and use his music. And then somebody said something when we were at the Little Memorial. Somebody said, wow, his music not going to ever be heard again. And I said, why would that be? I told him because he was an artist. And what you don't do, even after an artist dies, shut their music down. So we still listen to Michael Jackson and he gone.
Yeah. We still listen to Aaliyah.
Yes.
We still listen to Biggie. We still listen to Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
Come on now. How do we?
So why would you shut an artist down? Keep that music going. Sully had Sully had a catalog. Brian got a catalog. I wish he'd go deeper into it and pull some of that stuff that he had before back out. I wish he'd do that because a lot of that stuff is where he was getting notoriety from. And just because we heard it in Baltimore, not everybody in Baltimore heard it.
Wow.
So you need to bring that out. We forget, like, oh, I wrote this back in 2010. Okay. The Roots wrote their song, Collard Greens and Cornbread in the Kitchen, or whatever it's called. They wrote that all the way in 1990, and it did not come out until 92, 95, 95.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how long it was written or when they wrote it. You just got to get it out there.
Right.
So that's just part of life with that in the music world.
So let me ask you a question. Why isn't all of like this history documented somewhere. Like, if it wasn't for you being here tonight, I wouldn't know half the stuff that we've talked about. And every time I've had the opportunity to talk to different artists from Baltimore, I hear all of these stories, but like, where is the documentation? To show like this is mind blowing history to me that at
Right.
age 53, I'm literally still just learning about.
Well, it actually is documented. We just don't look in the right places.
Well, tell me where I gotta look because I need to go. I need to go.
Well,
I mean, we have
Get the
club
right
music
places.
documented, we have house music documented. Hip
yeah,
hop,
you
if it
some
has this kind of history, needs to be here. It needs to
yeah,
be.
you can go to the library personally, but you can go to some of the let's start with some of the news stations, and you can actually go to the newspapers, and you can see a lot of that stuff, and it's documented. It's just that a lot of people don't look it up or say, well, I I remember years ago, for some reason, it was part of them. I guess everybody pulling me away from my group, and I did a TV thing about teenage pregnancy, bullying, and drugs. Imagine us doing a whole rap about that, but that's what it was about. And every day, um, people heard my song and they were singing and tell you because I had two other people with me who was the rapping twins. They were on the thing with me. We weren't. I wasn't being separated from them. We just was in a little organization where we all got together and wanted to do something about what was going on in Baltimore City. But
Hmm.
anyway, I got ridiculed for it. And the reason was is because they said um, I left out Icy Irene and Luscious Lakeisha. And I was like, well, they wasn't in the organization. And I was like, sometimes you can explain things, tell you blue in the face, and they're still gonna have their own opinion. And and at that time I almost really just wanted to leave because I felt like I wasn't losing them or leaving them out. It's just that they weren't in the group that I was in.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, and the thing about it is they started feeling some type of way. So, sometimes fans and people and media can make you feel different about somebody that you've already been close to. So
Mm.
that breaks a lot of things up too. So we just need to, like I said, just keep pushing. Don't lose faith in it and keep going. I want to do it where we're out here. We have the music, and Baltimore is played all over the world, where everybody is like, "Oh, I ain't hear this, I ain't hear that." Because when I did the pilot for About It, and I played the music, and I did some of the old music, and I played football, which was a poem by Portland
Oh,
Shakespeare.
the Shakespeare, yeah, the NFL joint, yeah.
We had this guy call in, and he was like, "Who's that with the nasty poem?"
Ah,
Ah.
And, and I was like, it was like, "I want to meet her." And we was like, "Well, who are you?" And he was like, "He Charles he's from Cali, and he want to see her. He bet." And so we was just, we giggling because like Baltimore finally gonna get on there. And I'm battling now because I did two shows and somebody wants to snatch it away. And she's figuring she can get a bigger audience. And and the sad part about it is I hate that because I feel like sometimes we do it to ourselves. Black people will come in because they see somebody else doing something and they will take it away. So we're meeting
mm,
now to keep the show
Oh wow.
because,
yeah.
well, let's Moni Love. I was a big fan of Man Moni Love, but she's on a lot of stations already. Why she want to take the spot that I have no idea.
Mm.
Spot that you have now.
Yeah, I'm like what I was doing with for the Get Baltimore. She wants the spot, and they all chummy, and they all up there together. So we've been meeting and trying to push it, like keep it as is. Baltimore was finally starting to be heard more, And I want that because now this guy called from Cali when he heard her when he heard her poem. So I'm like, come on, let's not, let's not let's not do this to each other. Let me bring my people in as well. But it's all about who you know.
It's who you know. So
Okay,
I do
so
have a
go ahead. No, go ahead, Lenny.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
do have this is real quick. The Afro newspaper, did
Hmm.
they do any segments or anything to help with supporting and putting it out, putting the music, the
That's a
entertainers, and what was going on in Baltimore at the time? Did they do anything for
that's
y'all?
a that's a great freaking question. This is why I hired her, y'all. This is why I hired her.
Let me tell you what the Afro did. Because it was two Afros, the Afro and then it was the Afro American.
Mm,
And they they highlighted little certain things, as in some of the school events. So you probably see a lot of the We Rock crew with them. And they focus more on the dancing,
mm,
breaking and pop locking and shocking, and that type of stuff was out more. So they highlighted the dances more than anything because Soul Train was out. Baltimore started they had their own little Soul Trains thing they used to
yeah.
do.
Mhm.
What was it called?
Was it Baltimore Connection or something?
Yeah, yes,
Baltimore Connection.
yes,
Oh,
Okay,
I knew
Alenia.
something.
Okay, Alenia.
yes, and they did that thing. So newspapers was all over that, but it was mainly because the dancing.
Gotcha.
So like, so it was like a little mediocre with that. Now the Baltimore Sun did a few things,
Mm.
but it was more if your name was Joey and the Wildcats, that rock music,
Uh-huh.
they went that route.
Said Joey and the
Oh,
Wildcats.
wow.
She
So
said Joey and the Wildcats.
so they went that route. So a lot
Gotcha.
because people same what they did back then when they was doing rock and roll. Um, they didn't think rock. I mean, they didn't think rap music was going to last. They didn't think it was
Right.
Mhm.
going to go this far. They really thought it was going to be gone. And
Mm.
we kept telling them that we ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep pushing.
Right.
And we were pushing and helping other cities, and because we thought they were helping us. But when it really got formed and everybody started talking about New York and Jermaine Dupri and all them came out and Beat Street was on and
Mhm.
did anybody want to hear it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They
Right.
didn't want to hear our
So we
story.
kind of got overlooked because it was like New York down, and then we'll skip over, and then we'll go
Yeah.
on down.
Yes. They didn't
Mm.
that's what it was. They didn't really want to hear us. They didn't want to hear our story. They didn't want to know what we was doing. And we still doing it.
Hmm.
It's just that people and that's why we try to talk now, and I have been trying to get with fruit rappers so we can do like a little segment of teaching them how to not give your stuff away or how not to be used, because we have so many people, they leave because they feel they don't appreciate me here,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna go somewhere else and I'll get appreciated. Then when I get big, they'll know me. You
Right.
shouldn't have to leave home to do that.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but again, is the support there for them?
Sometimes it's not.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like a lot of artists, they sit on the shelf.
Mhm.
Drew Hill ain't just started
Right.
when they found him. Those guys been singing for years.
Yeah, at the
Right.
country.
Right.
Yes, they've
Right.
been singing for years.
Yeah.
And so they didn't just start it with it. They were actually before what's the dude
Mm.
name? Before he did Barber's bedroom, he actually wanted
Wow.
them to do the song.
Oh, really?
But in true Drew Hill fashion, because they were, and that's how ironically that's the song they got famous off of. That's why the guy heard them. But they didn't. When they got famous, they didn't want to do the song.
Yeah, that group was called Whistle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they did Barbara's Bedroom, and it one of the biggest songs here in Baltimore City.
It's
Wow.
funny because I used to go to the fudgery often, but I never bought my first piece of chocolate from there until Drew Hill was down there, and them boys sang. Them boys just
Didn't they? You would just go and stand there.
mixing that chocolate. I said, bro, I gotta get y'all something just because of how hard y'all working, and y'all singing and sounding good.
I used to catch the 23 from Essex to go to the
Wow.
Inner Harbor. Yep.
Wow, that's the long
So
ride.
that's when you started going down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
when I
was
was
way before
younger.
then.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying when the
Oh,
23, yeah, when the
yeah.
Inner Harbor, right when they built the Galleria, and that's when I was going
Oh,
down there. Yeah.
oh, so you
oh,
that was way after.
oh!
Yeah.
Shout out to Jay Sumer, Maurice. I
Yeah.
didn't know that, bro. I didn't know she was the manager down there. Wow,
Yeah.
at the Fudgery, Jay
Yep.
Sumer.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow, wow, man. This is why I love doing this. This is why I love doing
What
this show.
Maurice is on here? Is that Eagles
Nah, that's Natty. That's
GBI?
Natty Ford. Nah, that's Natty. That's Maurice Dorsey. Natty. He's the
Oh,
producer.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
dropping all kind of gems on us, bro. I ain't know that. She was the manager down there. Wow. Man,
Yeah, she was the manager.
man,
And
that's
then they started getting crooks. Like Jesus, I can't think of dude's name. Oh man.
oh, here she
He
go.
was such a
Name
crook.
dropping again. She just putting it all out there on our
Yeah.
show tonight.
No, no, no. He was really a crook. I bet you if I said everybody would know. Uh Jeter. Jeter claims to have just started everyone off. Dirk Jeter. Jeter said he started this person never he didn't discover Drew Hill, but they did some songs at his show at one of his shows, and he took the credit for discovering Drew Hill.
Mm.
So yeah,
Oh, I
but he
think his name is Anthony. I think his name is Anthony Jeter. Since Maurice want to put it out
his
there.
name is CROOK Crook.
He's been tattletaling a lot tonight.
That's why we getting him up here soon because he got a lot of history that he has to tell. All right, so look, because we can talk about this history stuff all night, but so when did you start like making the transition over to doing radio and everything that led up to what's now the Bout It show?
Well, radio came in 1982, 85, 85. Chuck Max was the person who I admired and was the person who actually started me. I did some small segments on his show and I wanted to keep it going. Then I did, as you know, if y'all don't know, WFBR used to be WWIN.
Uh-huh.
And I was there doing little, because I'm still young, but doing little segments on that show. And I left for a little bit because I was failing in school, so I had to leave. Because education comes first.
Amen.
So then when I came back, a lot of it changed, but I was still there. And Brother Darren Muhammad was like, kept pushing it. When you coming back? When you coming back?
Did he have a show at WFBR?
Yeah, Darren Muhammad got a show
Yeah,
there.
that came on after you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went back. I started back with my mom, and I think they used to call it. Well, we weren't. The audience called us the angry radicals. That was, we just was passionate about Baltimore City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I told her that the only way that a lot of these young people are gonna come on if we give them some of them.
Mm.
And my first artist that I put on was, oh gosh, she's not even here no more. What is her name? She moved to Atlanta. Wow, I can't even think of. Gosh, I can't even think of the young lady's name. But she was very.
R&B or hip hop?
She did R&B.
Paula Campbell.
Oh no, no,
It
not
wasn't
Paula
Paula.
Campbell. I like her. No, 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 no.
She'll be on the show soon, by the way. But anyway,
Oh, Paula Campbell.
yeah, I got
Wow,
her. I
Nice.
got her.
that's good. That's big. Um, I forgot the young lady's name, but she was one of the
Okay.
first people we put on. And then I just started doing a lineup to where I had Sully came on, and he didn't actually rap. He did a poem because that's how I knew him as a poet first. And
Mm-hmm.
then he told me, I rap, and I was like, "You rap? Let me hear something." And he went in and he did Dreams, which was one of my favorites.
One of his best songs. Oh my gosh! Wow,
Yes. And
man.
my mom and them was standing all up and dream. I was like, "Y'all is not the background." And people was calling in asking us, could we play that again? And I'm like, play it again. And he did this live. So I was like, you got to leave a CD. You got to do some stuff. You got to leave music. So he did it again for us live because people was requesting it. And then I had Freedom Writer. And so I just started bringing in people. And I remember I set Portland Shakespeare up. I knew I had to do something for the nuns. So I gave a contest to for somebody to come in and co-host the show. She didn't know she was going to be the host. I didn't tell her. And because I want everybody, my thing was, we all need to learn something. We all need to get out there. And if I'm going to eat, you going to eat. I don't believe in,
We all eat.
yeah, I don't believe in
We all eat.
So I set her up and I called her the day before and said, well, you go ahead on, but I gotta do. I used to cook. I fried chicken for the St. James and St. John's school. They used to do dinners, and I think she brought on E. Digger and Jada Linus. And tell
Shout
me,
out, Jay.
people still
Digger.
talk about that show. She had nuns in there moving their hips. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Sister
Oh, my
Act.
bad.
It was Sister Act.
Sister
I'm
Act.
like, oh. Yeah, the nuns was moving their hips and everything they did, and everybody wanted to know who was the girl who kept talking about her ink pen. I was like, that's Portland Shakespeare. So we kept it going. And my mom to the point
Doing it
was
for
like,
Jesus.
I'm leaving. You got this. So that was that. And I thought I was going to retire because I really got, it was to the point where I was getting a little mad, and I was mad at Baltimore City because I thought that they weren't out trying to do anything anymore. And I'm like, oh, come on. Because somebody was like, I don't even want to do it. Ain't nobody trying to pick me up. And I was like, that's just, I screamed at someone and I really went in on them. I mean, any cuss word you can think of came out of my mouth. I was mad. And I was like, that's your,
Not darling Dena. No.
I'm not going to cuss, but I'm saying I was pissed. I was like, you waiting around for somebody to do something, do it for yourself, and screaming. And I shook the person. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to leave. So I took a break. And I was like, you know what? Why I'm leaving? Why did I leave? I love radio. And I didn't want to let it go. But I wanted to do it in a bigger audience because those songs that I played on Ballad, people has never heard those, but they liked them.
Mm-hmm.
I got people riding past when their cars was like, wow, when this song coming on? Oh man, that's my cousin. He's locked up now. But that's my cousin. That's his song. I don't know if your cousin locked up or not, but I play this music.
Right.
So it just became. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep pushing for this type of stuff to keep going on and for us to keep having these type of shows.
Yeah.
So Baltimore needs to know that it's people out there who will put you on. Because I know a lot of people who have shows and they make those artists pay to get on their show.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother show right there. But yeah,
Yeah, and they have selective audience. So no,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to have your music out there because they don't get it when your songs are being played and people are listening and they're liking it. You get paid for that.
yep,
So you're giving me money. So why do I want to ask you to pay me twice? You know? So I it's just the thing about radio. Radio has always been that thing for me.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
always has.
so how do we find your show? And if any artists that are listening are interested in having their music on your show, how do they get in touch?
Well, I did put it out there that how they can send music. You can send it to must be the music 1590 at gmail.com. I still set music that way. And we load it up and down and deal with it that way. Um the show is the Ballad Show, the Darling Dena show. That's on Sirius FM. We did have an 8 o'clock slot. I'm hoping that's the slot I get to keep. Um,
Don't make me pull up on Moni Love. As much as I love her, I will pull up on Moni
I
to
love
say,
her to
look,
death, but I mean, like, all I'm saying is just don't take away from another sister,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
They
But
don't look at
so
it like that though. They don't look at it like that.
and
Right.
they
It's a
don't,
prime spot. It's a prime spot. 8 o'clock
yeah,
is
because it's 8 o'clock.
prime. Yeah, 8 o'clock
Yeah.
is prime. Yeah.
So right now it was like 8 to 10, and I'm just really, I mean, 2 hours. That's enough for people to hear a lot of Baltimore music.
On
Um,
serious? On
Yeah,
serious?
to hear your music. I remember when I was just on WFBR and people was calling, "That's my song." I'm like, okay, well, introduce yourself, and because some of them would come and sing music, but I've never had them on the show
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because they don't. Some people just didn't really want to get on. They just want to get music. But I thought it would be best if you came on and talked about yourself. Put yourself out there, popularize yourself, brand yourself, and show
That's what
everybody
it's
who
all
you is.
about.
But
Wow.
a lot of people were scared of that. And I think it was during the time because we started doing the cameras, especially when you and Sabrina got on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know why people shy away from the cameras. I really
She used
cameras
to
are
hate when
fun.
I went live from that show. She used to hate it. Like,
Yeah, she shied away. And I was like, Sabrina, you
no, you
know.
gotta. Yeah.
But
She used to hate it.
and a lot of artists didn't want to do it because I'm like, y'all want people to see y'all, know y'all. You have to get on.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
Right.
can't. Your music is on, but you have to speak on your music. If all they hear is your music and they don't know you, they're gonna stop listening. I want to know that person behind that band. So that's a lot of problems. But we did a lot of things.
You said they be on the run. They don't want to get on the camera. They be on the run. That's funny. All right, so I gotta ask these two questions as you're sipping that drunken love right there. Perfect segue. So we have a young lady that's been tuning in all day or all show, and she wants to know two things. She wants to know, is Jam Master Jay her father?
She said
And
no.
why did you stop? Why did you walk away from doing hip hop?
Mm.
well,
Performing, writing,
one
the whole shebang.
one Jam Master Jay is not her father,
Ah,
unfortunately. So you get no royalties. um, and I walked away because as a young woman, um, we were being used, and I
hmm.
be one to be used. I wasn't gonna you put myself out there and then just for music. I didn't feel that I had to be sexitized or that's not a word, but it's my word.
We just
But
made that up. We just made that up. You heard it here first. Exercise.
um, and then had to look at myself in the mirror and say, why? Because we wanted it bad, but not that bad.
Hmm.
And going away and being around these people and then being scared to actually get out there, and because you with these people and they might do something to you at any moment. I walked away. I walked away and I let it go. I had like a lot of my people were mad because they didn't know, they didn't understand. But when I explained it, they was like, "Oh no, they're not gonna get me." But it's not, and it wasn't every woman. So I'm not gonna say everybody, but it was certain ones they was just picking out.
Hmm.
And I walked away because and that's why rap became a real sore spot to me. I mean, I listen to people and I like their music and things like that, but for me to perform it again, it I get pissed because I go through, as what a lot of artists a lot of people go through, um, the drawbacks of it. Is that what we really have to do just to get on?
Hmm.
you know. So that's the reason I walked away. I walked away because I wasn't going to let them do what they want with me and put me out there. Or and I daggone was not going to take anybody's drugs. So I let it go.
So she's happy that you
Yeah.
didn't walk away because you were pregnant with her.
No,
Like,
no, they want you. And as you notice, a lot of those women, they want you to change your body. I mean,
yeah.
back then I wore size 0. Come on, how much did you want me to take off? We couldn't eat right. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know about nobody else, but back then I was a pork eater, and if I couldn't have no smothered pork chops, it was a problem.
Yo, I love it. Oh my
So,
God. I,
no.
I understand. And, and salute to you for keeping your integrity. You know what I mean? Because like we've heard millions of stories about, people that have sold whatever it is that they need to sell to get their break, whatever their break may be. So
Mhm.
man, listen, I I don't know where this damn Darling Dena documentary is gonna come about, but I love this. I needed to hear your history and where you stood as a part of the Baltimore hip hop scene. I needed this. So the heck with being a host for tonight. I've sat here as a fan for an hour and a half and literally have just enjoyed hearing these kind of stories. And the thing about it is there's so many more of these kind of stories from this city.
Hmm.
And we're gonna get those stories heard. I'm gonna just put it like that. We're gonna get these stories heard.
Yeah, especially when you talk to Paula Campbell.
Yeah, I can't wait. And shout out to her assistant because I dropped the ball. We could have had Paula on last month and I screwed that up.
Wow.
But she was willing to, give me a second chance, and now she gonna get mad because I'm an inboxer every day between now and the day that she comes on the show. But yeah, we will have her. Hold on, let me give y'all an exact date. Let me give y'all an exact date. Uh, dun, 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 dun,
By now
dun.
you supposed to say dun, dun,
May the
dun,
first. May the first. May the first. May the first, Paula Campbell will be here on Access Granted, and that's another one of those stories that I can't wait to hear because, she was one of those ones that started here and kind of migrated for whatever reason, and we're definitely going to find out the reason why she chose to leave. But you know, um, I will forever support my city. You know, um, I've said it plenty of times on this show and other platforms that I've had that I will take my 10 favorite hip hop artists from Baltimore, 20 favorite hip hop artists from Baltimore, and we will pull up in any city, and you can give me your 10 or your 20 best, and I guarantee you we're gonna hold our own. I
Hmm.
guarantee that we
Hey,
will
got
hold
a
our.
question for you.
Okay.
I might
Uh-oh.
need to send it to you. I don't know if you still have it. Do you have a copy of the show when you did with the girl from Oaktown 357?
No.
I'm about to send it to
No.
you.
You can
You
send
need
that to me now.
you
I'll listen
need
to
to
that when I go to
listen to
sleep.
what she said, why she had to step back, and what
Mm.
she said about Hammer. I
Mm.
was like, I bet you he don't remember that. That's because I remember you
That was,
sweating real hard, you
yeah, that
know.
was sweet OD. I had a look, look. Let me tell you something. Let me let me tell you something about Oaktown 357 and B Angie B. Right. I
Go
had the
Lord.
chance to meet all of them in Pittsburgh back in the day, and I had a crush on all of them. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I hear my wife upstairs walking around, so I'm not no. But yeah, that was and yo and like literally opportunities like that to talk to. Like that was my first time to like really talk to a person that I like really looked up to and idolized. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. Um,
Yeah.
I wish that it was a platform like this where I could have actually seen her while we were talking, but just to have that opportunity
She
to
wouldn't
chop
have
it up with
mind.
her.
It
I know,
was
and
some,
I've reached out since then, but there's been like that's almost like pulling teeth. I don't know what the situation is with that now. But yeah, if you could send that to me, I would definitely because that was amazing.
yeah, I'm
Shout
gonna
out to
pull it
Sweet
up so you
LD.
can listen to that one.
Yeah, yeah,
You
pull
got
that
to.
pull that out.
I was listening to it
Look,
the other day.
pull that
I
out.
was like, wow.
Yeah, but Dana, man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been
Yes.
so much fun, and I feel like we could probably go another 2 hours if we needed to, because I feel like you've only scratched the surface on like some of the stories. Um, Queen Fiend, I'm sorry, that the bad news that Jam Master Jay,
Mm.
rest in peace, is
It's
not your
not
baby.
your
It
daddy.
is not your, is not your dad, but I still, I still, I still, I still love you, And there we go. There you go. The Lexington Market lean with the microphone. There it was. It just, yeah,
That's
exactly,
all Lexington Market.
exactly. At least it waited till the end of the show to do it tonight.
That's
But
right, because it's a new Lexington Market lean.
yeah, exactly. But Dina, let everyone know how and when they can catch the Bout It show.
Well, okay. The Bally show once again will be on an 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. slot. And we only got Thursdays for now.
Okay.
We're trying to get every day. So
Woo!
we only got Thursdays and it comes on 8 p.m. Sirius FM, the Rock the Bells radio station.
Oh, that's LL station.
Yeah. Now
Mhm.
you know why she wants to. So we're trying to move it. And what we want to do is we're going to actually just try to, if they're going to take it from us, we're going to put it back. We're going to raise the money and we're going to do our own because I don't want nobody keep taking stuff from us every time we do something.
Every
But
time.
anyway, every Thursday you can listen. They just still running those same two shows for now, but it's a lot of Baltimore music that you can hear and listen to. It got a lot of great Greenspan. I mean,
Oh my gosh!
and if
Shout out
y'all know
Greenspan,
Greenspan
Lord.
Kellogg, come on, come on. You can
Yo,
hear
Greenspan has this song. It's a hip hop song, but when it goes into the chorus or whatever, it drops a club beat to it,
good.
and then it switches. I can't remember the name of that song, but I saw him perform that live out there. Shout out to Greenspan.
Yeah, I mean, we play everybody. Jersey Sean. We got a lot of people on there. So you will hear a
Hey,
whole lot of artists.
hey, Alenia Renee has some bars. So if you ever want to, get her in the studio and let her drop some stuff and bring her
No, I
on,
don't.
Hmm.
but this has definitely been a pleasure. I mean, we're neighbors. Like I could reach out to you right now and practically grab you. So, But I just appreciate you. As I said
Thank
earlier in the
you.
show, I appreciate you, just allowing me the opportunity to come and be a part of your platform on WFBR. And I finally, after all of these years, have gotten to hear the Darling Dena story, at least chapters 1 through 6. I know there's probably another 10 chapters, but at
Yeah,
least I
well, I'm writing a
now,
book.
yeah. So, hey,
There you
hey, come
go.
back and holler when it's time for the book to drop.
Okay.
Come back and holler when it's time for the book to drop. But this has been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate you so much. I love you. Anytime you need me for anything, I'm just a phone call, an inbox, a text message away. So it is what it is.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you
Thank
all for
you.
having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on, man. Yeah, where the maracas? No, you got to pull the maracas off. There we go. Got to pull the maracas off. Appreciate you, sis. Have a good one.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye bye.
All right.
Yo, that's what that like. It's so much history here in music, man, and like I've heard so many stories about the house music, the club music, the R&B, so on
Mhm.
and so on. But that hip hop, man, is a story that I feel like continues to need to be told. And every time I have the opportunity, I did. We had a show called Must Be the Music. Back
Uh-huh.
when I had the two radio stations that me and my man Wombat 55 used to do, and it started out as what was supposed to be a whole big like hip hop appreciation show, and I put Wombat in charge of bringing the guest on the show, and it just turned into a Baltimore hip hop appreciation history lesson every Saturday.
Oh
And I
wow.
really, took that opportunity to just like really get to know and understand, like, my man Maurice Dorsey, aka Natty. He's been on here, like he's an amazing producer here in the city. Like it's just crazy, but like I feel like we're being overlooked. As I said, when we come down the map, it's New Jersey, it's New York, and then we get to Baltimore and Maryland. It's kind of like a big leap over, and
Right.
and I feel like any opportunity that I have to let our story be told, I have to take advantage of it. I have to,
Right.
and I don't even remember when I realized that, or when I learned that Dena did hip hop. And when she told me that she used to rap and all of that stuff, I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And there's been a couple of times when I've asked her to drop some bars, and each time she gives me that same reaction. She was like, "It's so, whatever it
Her.
was that,
Mhm.
it was so much." And I'm not gonna, disrespect that ever. If she doesn't want to, cross that bridge and do it, I mean, if she wants to come up and do an acapella as an acoustic segment, I won't be mad. But I definitely just,
Right.
respect, because I definitely respect her, and everything that she's done. And so to finally get her up here, man, and just to, have an opportunity to chop it up with her for
Yeah.
a few minutes, this is beautiful. So,
Yeah.
um,
And it all goes back to a lot of what we've been talking about constantly,
absolutely. I
Antoine, that
already
I'm
know where you're going.
hearing.
I already know where you're
And
going.
I just my husband says something to me, and he always tells me this so that I won't get discouraged. He says, "Sometimes where you are is not ready for who you
Who
are."
you are. Ooh.
And he said, "Love, it's not that you didn't do well. It's just they weren't ready for who you are."
Hmm.
And it just and it's sad to say because when you're talking about some of these artists, I was here and
Exactly.
I don't know. And I'm sitting up here just, hearing this, and I had to ask certain questions because I did read the Afro.
Hmm.
And because I was a reader, that's what my thing was. But it didn't mean that I wasn't at a Hammer Jacks or an Odell's or a Godfrey's or Gatsby's. I was everywhere. I was a clubber.
Hmm.
And Chaps.
Girl, let me find out. Let me find
I
out.
was there. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
me. And even now, I mean, I enjoy the music, but for me to be able to say out of my mouth and say I know certain Baltimore artists, it's not until you say something and maybe say a song or something like that that I'm like, Really? So if you watch my face sometimes,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Didn't know.
And it's sad because it is a lot of talent, but I think also we don't support us. we
We don't
don't.
celebrate us.
We
We don't
don't.
celebrate us.
We
We don't celebrate
don't.
us.
And we're always looking for that shiny thing. So that shiny thing would be those artists that make it big, right? Because they do leave the area in which they start some, they do because people support more. And then also it goes back to we don't even have those venues to cultivate that. Because again, we're not supporting, so some of those venues are now moving over to something else. Like when Monique had her like
Right.
comedy place.
Our comedy club. Right.
That I'm just saying things like that when we have jazz clubs that go away, and things like that. People
Pennsylvania
go
Avenue.
ride will ride all the way to DC. So I again will say, and I'm gonna put myself in that, and so I'm not gonna do the shame on everyone else without saying the shame on me,
Right.
but shame on us.
Yeah.
We are the ones that's driving good talent, shows,
Yeah.
things that people are developing that are housed and are placed here in Baltimore. We're not even supporting them either. So,
Yeah.
it's
I
just
agree.
so much. It's so much I could say, but I do hope that we do better. I hope that we do better.
We will. I mean, we can't do much worse, and that's just keeping it real. So, like, and I'm just being. It used to kill me sometimes to go to like open mic shows, and
Oh,
you would have like I'll just use 10 as a round number. You have 10 artists performing, and when artist number one finishes performing, him and the 8 people that he might have brought, they all leave.
leave. Mhm.
And then when artist number two, finishes, him and the 6 people that he brought, they all leave. So by the time you get to artist number 10, you might have 5 or 6 people there, and
Right.
that's all people that he brought.
Right.
We gotta, and shout out to Maurice. He made a great statement. Like, we've lost the skill of networking, in
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I don't mean no harm, but if and I said it earlier, if I'm a hip hop artist and I'm one
Mhm.
of the opening acts down at Soundstage or Rams Head for KRS-One, somebody in KRS-One's entourage is gonna have my information before we leave. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
care if it's just my Instagram or something. You have to take advantage of those opportunities when you have, those kind of artists at your fingertips, because those are the ones that can, even if they don't do anything but, send some information your way and send some advice your way. But I've heard of Baltimore artists that have had the chance to open up for artists, here in Baltimore, and then they went and they did such a great job and they networked and communicated. And then like that artist will be performing in Philly and they'd be like, hey, if you take, the 90-minute drive up to Philly, you can come be on that show,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So we have to take advantage of those opportunities, man. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
I had fun.
it
I
was
had
good.
fun. I had
Yeah, a lot of
fun.
knowledge.
Um, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, rest in peace to Miss B.
Yes.
Um, I've actually posted the arrangements on my page. I shared the flyer that was posted from the funeral home.
Okay.
William C. Brown, who happens to be her family,
Yep.
as the extension that we were talking about earlier of how big that is. But
Mhm.
yeah, again, just continue prayers out to her and all of the people at St. Stephen's and all of the people in the Brown family, the
Yes. Yes.
extensions of all of the branches from everything.
Yeah,
And
right.
did you have anything that you want to talk about that you may have coming
No,
for your
actually, I've
situation?
talked
Okay,
about everything. This was a
okay,
good show. Thank
cool,
you for everyone that stayed with us and that are going
absolutely,
to see the replay.
absolutely. I looked up who's next week's. Oh, Thomas Leahy, ha,
Thomas
actor out of
Leahy.
Baltimore. Looking forward to him. I've been trying to get Thomas up here for a long time. He's an actor here in Baltimore. And he's been on more stuff than I realized. So I'm definitely looking forward to chopping it up with him. So we'll be back next week. Man, just continue to be safe. Baltimore, it's daylight savings time now, so hope everybody has adjusted well.
Yes.
Thank God my voice made it through the show because I didn't have a voice from Tuesday through Sunday morning.
Oh, wow.
And God said, get up and go sing. And I got up and sang and I struggled, but it was what it was.
That's why you got a
Yeah,
voice today.
that's why I have a voice today. All right, sis. I love you. I
All
appreciate
right.
you. We
Love
will
you
see you
too.
guys next week, man. Access granted the Par Stream. Make sure y'all follow us. All
Yes.
social media, YouTube, Instagram. I don't mess with Twitter. My TikTok is there. We're going to work on that. We'll see you guys next week. We love you.
Love ya.